So one of my followers asked me to put out a top 5 list. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna put out my top 5 favorite fragrances. They're not gonna be necessarily my favorite because what I want to do instead is this is my favorite winter fragrance. I love it. This is Man in Black from Bulgari. This smells similar to Spice Bomb in the sense that it has spices, but I think it smells totally different. Personally, I don't get the connection. Yes, if there's spices in it, does that mean every spicy fragrance is Spice Bomb associated? Maybe. I mean, Spice Bomb did help to make spices very centralized, but spices have been a note for a long time. So it's not just them, but anyhow, this is a very alluring fragrance. It has a nice boozy note in it, which works perfect in the winter months. And it kind of punches. Now, in the fall and spring, it works well, but in the winter, I find it works even better because there's something about it. It likes to attack that cold weather and just go for it. Now, performance is the one thing I don't like about it. It lasts about 6 hours, maybe 8 on clothing, but it starts to disappear after about 4. But those first 4 hours, oh my gosh, I love it. The scent is just perfection. I've gotten compliments with this, and I see why, because it's a great fragrance. And the only issue nowadays is online. The price has gone up. You can get it for about 80 bucks at discounters. It used to be cheaper. This used to be a very affordable fragrance, but hey, I still think it's worth it. If you want something like that, go for Man in Black from Bulgari. Now, my favorite fragrance at the moment, because it changes all the time, is Spicy Leather from Salvatore Ferragamo. This is a divine fragrance. This is perfection in a bottle. Again, I like darker fragrances, you know, the ones that work in the fall, the spring, and the winter. This is beautiful in the fall and spring. This is a perfect fragrance. But unlike the last one, this does work in the summer. I wore it in New York City when I got it, and it actually performed very well in the hot. I think it was about 86, 90. It was really hot in New York at the time. This is a great fragrance. If you want something that has a nice spiciness mixed with leather, this isn't one of those leather heavy fragrances like your ombre leather, where leather is the main note. It's more like leather is supporting this fragrance and helping it to be enhanced, and the spices, and there's a nice sweet note in it. They just blend perfectly together to be a well balanced fragrance. Now, projection, it's okay. This is not a fragrance beast, a hype beast where it's going to just project heavily. You walk in a room and people fall over, passed out. This is more one of those fragrances that instead it will be much more alluring and kind of like a scent bubble around you. So anyone that gets a whiff of it, they're gonna be like, whoa, it's a head turning fragrance. Let's put it that way. This will turn heads, and it is perfection. Now, for the longevity, I think you're getting about 6 to 8 hours. I think in the cooler months, it could be closer even to 9. But what more do you want? This is a perfect fragrance. Highly recommend it. And it's now available in America, easily to get. Scoop it up while you can. Now, my favorite fragrance, if I want to be classy, if I'm wearing a suit, if I'm going to an event and I really need to stand out, I'll go with this. This is from Gentleman Reserve Privé from Givenchy. Maybe I should put that into the front, not just the Givenchy logo. This is class in a bottle. Now, spoiler, if you do not like iris, this isn't the fragrance for you. Now, the other thing though is this is not like one of those really powdery irises. This is a much more uplifted iris with the booze, with the way this fragrance works together. It blends perfectly. It smells of high class. This to me is what Bleu de Chanel is in the summer months. If it's the summertime, I'll wear Bleu de Chanel. If it's the winter or cooler time, I'm going to wear this. Reserve Privé, I think, is perfection because it will stand out in a crowd and it just makes people think, wow, this guy has everything put together. They know what they're talking about. The fragrance just works with that suit perfectly. So if you want something like that, check out Reserve Privé. I was on a live stream on Instagram and they asked me what's your favorite oud fragrance, and my mind went blank, which is a shame because this is it. This is from YSL M7 Oud Absolute. I love this fragrance. I wish it wasn't discontinued. I think that's the biggest shame in the world because this is one of the best fragrances I have ever smelled. It's just uplifting. Yes, the cap is that way. It didn't come accidentally that way. Oh, it just smells so good. Now, the thing about it, unfortunately, if you notice, I have not sprayed it that much because I'm afraid with it being discontinued, I don't know how much longer you can find them, but it pops up at Joma Shop and Fragrance By every once in a while. So highly recommend it. If you're interested in a classy oud that is uplifting, it doesn't stink, it isn't like off-putting. This is a compliment beast right here. This is a great fragrance for that. I know because I had a tester with it, and I still have that tester that I use when I travel. Oh my gosh, I can't get enough of this fragrance. This is just perfection in a bottle. It is one of those 10 out of 10s. I wish it wasn't discontinued. Please, please, YSL, bring it back. This is so good. Love it. Now, another discontinued fragrance, but here's the thing. It is out right now. You can find it at Joma Shop, Fragrance Buy for about 110. It is from Prada. This is L'Homme Intense. Oh my goodness, this is perfection. Now, yes, it has iris in it, but because it has a sweetness and a heavy dark accord that just pops it through and elevates it, it doesn't stink of like powdery iris. This is one of those fragrances that you will spray, smell it, and go, yeah, that's pretty good. And then as you're walking around, go, whoa, who smells amazing? What is this I'm smelling? And realize it's you. This smells phenomenal in the dry down. Oh my goodness, I can't get enough of it. It elevates fragrances. If this wasn't discontinued, I would probably use it in layering because it makes other fragrances smell even better. I had it with Cedrat Boisé and it made it smell 300 times better. And then without it, I'm going, oh, it's not as good. It's because I didn't have this layered with it. This is one of my favorite fragrances. I wish it was not discontinued. I am glad that you can find it, and maybe I'll get a backup bottle because, oh, the world should not be without this fragrance. So, what are your 5 fragrances? What do you go to? Or even what's your one fragrance? What is your favorite out there? Comment down below. Let me know. And as always, follow and subscribe for more fragrances. This is Nubs Fragrance. Can't wait to talk to you soon.